Team Nepal, who had a day at office to forget yesterday in their defeat against Oman, are currently playing the United Arab Emirates in the semi-final of the ICC T20 World Cup Asia qualifier. A win today will seal a spot for the Rhinos at next year's T20 Cricket World Cup. Also in this edition of Kantipur News, we have updates from the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict and the ICC Men's One-Day International Cricket World Cup. Good morning, I'm Prarambha, Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. The United Arab Emirates win the toss and decide to bat against host Nepal in the semi-finals of the ICC T20 World Cup Asia qualifier. The Rhinos one win away from qualification. Bahrain batting against Oman. Security officials in a state of dilemma regarding where to hold Yogaraj Dahal alias Regal, who was arrested after Supreme Court verdict revoked the presidential pardon, cite lack of clarity in legal provisions. Construction of Ramraja Prasad Singh Academy of Health Sciences building in Rajvira Saptari stranded for almost 5 years. Outraged local residents staged protest demanding to proceed construction works. And Israel continues to pound Jabalia refugee camp on third consecutive day, claims it has completed the encirclement of Gaza City while attacking Hamas outposts, headquarters and infrastructures. Security officials are in a state of dilemma regarding where to hold Yogaraj Dahal alias Regal, who was arrested after the Supreme Court verdict revoked the presidential pardon granted to him. Banke Police has said that the uncertainty is a consequence of lack of clarity regarding whether to present Dahal at the court or send him straight to the jail. A meeting of the District Security Committee had also delved into the situation. District Police Office Banke spokesperson Narayan Dangi has said that Dahal will be processed on the basis of the decision and order of the Department of Prison Management. Police had arrested Dahal from Setu Bika Chowk of Nepalganj immediately after the Supreme Court verdict. The Supreme Court rejected the presidential pardon administered to Yogaraj Dahal alias Regal, who was earlier serving life imprisonment. President Ramchandra Podal had administered the pardon to Regal on the recommendation of the government on the Constitution Day on 20th of September earlier this year. The joint bench of Justices Ishwar Prasad Khatiwada, Sapna Pradhan Malla and Kumar Chudal issued the verdict rejecting the presidential pardon administered to Regal. As per the verdict, Regal has to serve the remaining 11 years and 11 months in jail. The Supreme Court has also cautioned against issuing similar verdicts in the coming days and has said that the consent of the victim's family is a must while taking such decisions. Bharati Sharpa, whose husband was gruesomely killed by Regal, had filed a writ at the Supreme Court demanding to scrap the presidential pardon. Hearing on the writ had been conducted relentlessly since Tuesday. The apex court issued the verdict after the prosecution and defense from the respective sides had concluded. The court had ordered life imprisonment, convicting Dahal of killing social activist Chetan Manandar of Nepalganj with a sharp weapon on the 13th of July 2015. Now, leaders of major political parties have said that questions would be raised on the governing system if the parliament is not made effective. Speaking during the last meeting of the second session of the House of Representatives yesterday, leaders admitted of failing to make the parliament effective. Chief Whip of Nepali Congress, Ramesh Lekhak, said that the failure of the constitution would be devastating for the country. He opined that continuous parliament obstruction has also contributed towards making the parliament less effective. CPN UML lawmaker Bishnu Paudel blamed the government of ignoring the issues tabled at the parliament. He warned the government that a lackluster parliament would not be able to generate outcomes. Meanwhile, CPN Maha Center lawmaker Barshaman Pun expressed dissatisfaction, saying that the trend of speaking indiscriminately at the parliament was on the rise. During the meeting, lawmakers had drawn the government's attention towards making efforts to release Nepali student Bipin Joshi, who has been captured by Hamas militants in Gaza. Congress lawmaker Sanjay Gautam observed silence for 1 minute, saying that the government had ignored the issues tabled at the parliament. A total of 65 meetings were held during the budget session of the House of Representatives. The session was extended after the budget was passed, saying that some important bills would be moved forward. However, only one bill was endorsed by the second session because of internal disputes and obstructions at the House of Representatives. The second session of the House of Representatives, which started from the 7th of May and ended yesterday, was held for a total of 180 days. Apart from passing the budget, the House session did not contribute much in formulation of required laws. The amendment of the Transitional Justice Act, bills on education, Public Service Commission, Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, among others, failed to get endorsed into laws. The House also could not finalize the bills on anti-money laundering and promotion of business environment, which were moved forward to amend the acts related to them. The government failed to even register the bill related to the Federal Civil Service Act. During the second session, 9 bills were registered at the House of Representatives and 4 at the National Assembly. A total of 22 bills at the Parliamentary Committee and both houses of the Parliament are under consideration. Lawmakers of the ruling alliance parties accepted that the House session could not perform well because of obstructions created even on minor issues by postponing meetings. The House meetings were limited to putting forth views of parliamentarians and speeches of political leaders instead of formulating required laws. Because of this, 40 very essential laws for implementing the Constitution failed to get endorsed into laws. Leaders of opposition parties say the government is responsible for this. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister and ministers furnishing responses to the queries raised at the Houses and the address by the United Nations Secretary General at the joint session of the Parliament have been considered important aspects of the second session. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in several provinces regarding their take on the Parliament's failure to formulate significant laws. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
उहाँहरूले चाहिँ आफ्नो निर्वाचन क्षेत्र विकासमा चाहिँ बढी चाहिँ ध्यान दिनुभयो जहाँ चाहिँ ठुलो रूपमा आर्थिक चलखेल हुन्छ त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरिमा चाहिँ खास गरी अत्यावश्यक विधेयकहरू पास गर्न सकिरहेको स्थिति छैन
भन्नुहुन्छ बनाउँछु सबै नियम कानुनी कुनै चीज बनिरहेको छैन त बनाउनु पर्छ नि
संसदमा खास गरेर नेतृत्व गर्ने व्यक्तिहरुमा कार्यक्षमता दक्षताको र अनुभवको पनि कमी हो
सबभन्दा पहिला त सदनमा दक्ष लिडर पुग्न नसक्नु र अर्को चाहिँ सदनमा लिडरहरूले आफू अनुकूल मात्र चाहिँ कानुन बनाउन खोज्नु
सरकारले आफू अनुकूल अधिवेशन बोलाउने र अन्त्य गर्ने परिपाटीले
नेताहरू आफ्नो स्वार्थ पूर्तिका लागि आफ्नो अनुकूल नियम कानुन बनाउनमा व्यस्त भएकोले
यिनीहरू आफ्नो व्यक्तिगत स्वार्थ र पार्टीगत स्वार्थको कारणले गर्दा
कुनै पनि एउटा दलको स्पष्ट बहुमत नभएको कारणले पनि होला
दलहरु बीच भागवण्डा मिल्न नसकेका कारणले
यिनीहरूको नियत नै देशमा असल कानुन बनाएर आफूहरू बाँध्ने कानुन बनाउन इच्छा छैन यिनीहरूको इच्छा शक्तिको कमी हो
फाइदा लुट्न पर्छ जे पनि चाहन्छन् नत्र फाइदा भएन नि उनले कामै गर्छन् केही जिल्ला कहाँ छ गाउँ कहाँ छ
संसदहरुलाई चाहिँ कानुन सम्बन्धी ज्ञानै नभएको हुनाले र आफूलाई नै अप्ठ्यारोमा पर्ने हुनाले
संसद जुन विधायिका छ संसद छ उनीहरुलाई कानुनको महत्त्व त्यसको चाहिँ असर र परिणाम र आवश्यकताको ज्ञान नभएर
उनीहरु आफै खानमा आफ्ना नातागोताहरूलाई उकास्नमा केटाहरूलाई विदेश पलायन गर्नतिरमा व्यस्त छन् त्यसकारण मलाई लाग्दैन अहिलेको संसदहरुबाट यस्तो कुराको अपेक्षा गर्न सकिन्छ
सरकारले सुनिनुपर्ने कुराहरु हैन अब सरकार अब ढिला सुस्ती अब खै उहाँहरुले अब किन यस्तो गरिरहेका छन् हैन
It is now time for our segment Public Polls, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Polls.
The question is, why has the number of students increased in the law stream? Your options are A, trying to promote self-employment, B, concern towards law, and C, copycats. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Was laid for the building for Ram Raja Prasad Singh Academy of Health Sciences in Rajbiraz of Saptari. However, with political ploys in play, construction works of the academy have yet to begin, which has outraged the local residents. Erstwhile Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli had laid the foundation stone of the Academy of Health Sciences located at Rajbiraz Municipality, Ward number 10, Virawal, virtually 2 years ago. After the local residents provided 62 bighas of land, the academy was provided around 105 million rupees for detailed project report DPR and other works in the Nepali fiscal year 2078-79. Boundaries were set up at the construction site at an investment of 7.2 million rupees, while an agreement of 21.1 million was reached for the DPR. Despite preparation of the DPR last year, lack of funds for payment for services has added uncertainty. With the direct impact of political changes and Janata Samajwadi Party and Janamat Party both in the federal and provincial governments, the local residents have demanded for proceeding with the construction works. Despite the formation of a committee for preparation of infrastructures by the government, it does not have officials and required human resources. Vehicle purchased at 5.4 million rupees has also been returned to the ministry. With demand of taking the construction works of the academy forward, the local residents have begun a relay protest. Works of the academy, which is an estimated investment of 11.98 billion rupees, was expected to conclude within 5 years. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, around 10 million people, including the residents of 11 districts and Madhya province, would be able to receive treatment with the operation of the academy. Time now for the international news. Israel's military says its forces have encircled the Hamas stronghold of Gaza City as it continues its assault on the Gaza Strip. The Israeli Defense Forces said soldiers were engaged in close quarters combat with Hamas fighters staging hit-and-run attacks from tunnels. The Hamas-run health ministry says over 9,000 Palestinians have been killed. Yesterday, the UN Relief and Work Agency said 4 of its schools being used as shelters had been damaged in less than 24 hours. At least 20 people were reportedly killed at a school in the Jabalia refugee camp, while a child was reportedly killed at a school-turned-shelter in the beach refugee camp. A number of foreign nationals were able to leave Gaza after the Rafah crossing with Egypt opened for a second day. U.S. President Joe Biden says more than 70 Americans were among them. But where medical aid organization Doctors Without Borders says more than 20,000 wounded people remain trapped in the territory. Authorities in the Indian capital Delhi have shut all primary schools for 2 days amid worsening levels of air pollution. Air quality in the city dropped to severe levels for the first time this season yesterday. Scientists say it is expected to deteriorate further in the next 2 weeks. Delhi's Environment Minister has called an emergency meeting to review the situation. The capital is one of the world's most polluted cities. Delhi's air turns especially toxic in winter due to various factors, including burning of crop remains by farmers, low wind speeds, and bursting of firecrackers during festivals. Studies by the Delhi Pollution Control Committee showed the city's air pollution peaks from 1st to 15th of November, when the number of stubble burning incidents in the neighboring states of Punjab and Haryana increased. According to government data, yesterday evening, the concentration of PM 2.5 fine particulate matter that can clog lungs and cause a host of diseases exceeded the safe limit of 60 micrograms per cubic meter by 7 to 8 times in several parts of the city and its suburbs. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal soon announced that all government and private primary schools in the city would remain closed on today and tomorrow. A former gang member charged in the 1996 murder of hip-hop star Tupac Shakur pleaded not guilty yesterday in a Las Vegas court. 60-year-old Duane Keffe D. Davis, who police said was long suspected in the murder and began implicating himself in a series of public statements in recent years, responded not guilty when asked by Clark County District Judge Tierra Jones if he wanted to enter a plea. Davis was indicted in September by a Clark County grand jury and arrested in Las Vegas for Shakur's drive-by shooting death, a long unsolved crime that became a defining moment in the history of rap music. Davis was charged with 1 count of murder with a deadly weapon for his alleged role in leading a group of men to kill Shakur in a drive-by shooting near the Las Vegas Strip. Shakur, widely regarded as one of rap music's greatest artists, was also one of its most commercially successful, selling more than 75 million records worldwide. It is now time for the sports news.
Sports news.
Team Nepal are currently playing the United Arab Emirates in the ICC T20 World Cup Asia qualifier. In the match that started at 11 a.m. at the Upper Mulpani Cricket Ground, the UAE are batting first after winning the toss. Based on the latest update, the United Arab Emirates have posted 31 runs for the loss of 2 wickets in 4.1 overs. Opener Khalid Shah was run out by Sompal Kami for 3 runs when the score was 29 in 3.1 overs. Nepal claimed the second wicket of Mohammad Wasim when 30 runs were on the board. The winners of the clash will secure their spot in the T20 World Cup slated for next year. Nepal had qualified for today's semi-final as runners-up of Group A, while the UAE had finished as winners of Group B. The UAE had defeated Nepal by 68 runs in the decisive match of the 2021 T20 World Cup qualifiers. Therefore, the Rhinos will be aiming to avenge the defeat in front of the home crowd to play in the World Cup after a decade. Earlier, Nepal had defeated the UAE in the final of the ACC Premier Cup to qualify for the Asia Cup. The hosts will be aiming to repeat the glory against the same opponents. Team Nepal had played their first and only T20 World Cup back in the year 2014. In another semi-final slated for today, Oman are currently playing Bahrain at the Tribhuvan University Cricket Grounds in Kantipur. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 6 p.m. Thank you for staying with us.